So for this choose your own design adventure on isometric design, it's both the most structured and the most open-ended one of the design projects we have had so far. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to go through a series of tutorials to learn how to do what's known as isometric design. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the isometric design examples. So let's do a little image search here. So this is isometric design. Almost look like an old school video game. It's done on a grid, but instead of being a flat grid, it's a grid that's been rotated about 45 degrees. And it looks super complicated, but it's really utilizing the same basic method of using these squares to build a single building and then duplicating it over and over again. Some are more rounded, some have more colors. Some actually, it's pretty fun to expand on this and do some things with cars and trees and roads. There's cityscapes. There's a whole bunch of different, really interesting, cool designs. So to begin this project, what you're going to do is you're going to start with your Pinterest board and you're going to find 15 to 20 interesting looking isometric design or cityscapes. So you could type in isometric in Illustrator and see that there's other ones in here as well, little props, details. So it does not have to be a building itself, but that is what you are going to learn first. So with this, what you're going to create, what you're going to do is after you've created your Pinterest board, is go ahead and take a look through some of the tutorials. Just kind of skim through these to see what you're going to do, and then skim through some of the resources that are down here. And then you're going to need to download the data files that will go with this first room. This one actually has some things called actions, which will make this go a little bit faster. Also, it has all of the drawing and things that you may be copying from. So this tutorial will take about 45 minutes or so total to complete. And you're going to do this one. Then you're going to work on these two sets of tutorials. So between these three tutorials, it's going to take about 3 hours or so approximately to complete. These are going to teach you a lot of skills and a lot of 3D tools in Illustrator that we haven't touched on before. So well worth the time and the effort to put these two pieces together. Once you've built those two beginning tutorials, you are going to combine what you've learned and potentially add in some of these other techniques. This one is a speed art version that will show you how this particular person does vehicles. Here's one that's adding in roads and abstracted versions of trees. Same kind of thing here, trees. This one's a pretty basic tutorial. That one's pretty interesting. And some others. And you're also open to go and find other tutorials or other resources to gain inspiration from to add to what you started to build. What I'm looking for your final piece is a combination of all the stuff that you've done. Maybe it's you build on this one, but then you're going to build roads and you're going to build a tree and a little neighborhood to go along with this house. Or maybe you're going to take this same design style and maybe build almost like a Sims style house, a series of rooms connected together. Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's an exploded view of one of the rooms in here off to the side. Or you go completely from scratch and you decide, you know what, I want to do a whole entire city, or I want to really do a bigger building, a totally different building than the building that I have here. What I would like to see is all of these eventually in one big Illustrator file combined together on almost like one map. So showing almost a full video game / map style of the city or location or series of rooms. That's what I mean by it's a little bit more wide open. The beginning, very tutorial heavy. The ending, take this where you're going to take it. I'm really curious to see. This is the first time that I've used these tutorials and given this project before. So I want to give you some freedom beyond the tutorials to really explore. And you're going to surprise me with what you end up creating, because it may have been something I wasn't even thinking of. So I'm really excited to see what you end up creating out of this. Once you're done with all of this, you will submit all of the Illustrator files and you'll export them or save them as PDF files. And then you'll record a screencast that walks me through what your process was.